Welcome to Flower Care, where each orchid tells its own story. With many years of working with orchids, I have come to realize that with just a little perseverance, proper care, and a few simple ingredients available at home, you can completely mix your own nutrient solution, helping any weakened, rotten, or slow-growing orchid quickly revive and be ready for the upcoming brilliant flowering seasons. And now, let's get started. When you have an orchid with rotten or yellow leaves like this, the first thing you must do is remove the damaged leaves. Because these leaves contain many pathogens, if left for a long time, they will spread to the healthy parts, causing the whole plant to weaken quickly and may even die completely. The cause of this condition often comes from changes in weather, especially during the changing of seasons, when the tree has not yet had time to adapt to the new humidity and temperature. In addition, improper care has unintentionally created conditions for mold and insects to grow, attacking the trunk and leaves, causing the tree to rot as badly as it is now. As you can see, most of the leaves on the tree are very badly rotten, soft, discolored, and almost lifeless. If this condition persists, the rot will gradually spread to the stem and roots, making it impossible for the tree to recover. Next, we will gently remove all the old substrate. The purpose is to check the condition of the internal roots, because only when we clearly understand the condition of the roots can we come up with the most appropriate treatment and recovery method for the orchid. Some roots have rotted due to mold attack. When touched, they will feel soft and easy to break. However, there is still a part of the root that is very healthy, bright white, and strong. And this is the most important foundation for the tree to recover and continue to grow strongly in the future. Next, we will use a sharp, sterilized pair of scissors to cut off all the damaged roots. This will help the plant get rid of potential pathogens and make the root system more airy. When the damaged roots are removed, the plant will focus its nutrients on developing new young roots, helping the recovery process to be faster and more effective. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to support me, and don't miss any useful orchid care tips. I'm happy to accompany you on the journey of nurturing and conquering the beauty of orchid pots. Although this leaf still looks fresh, the rot has actually penetrated deep into the stem and spread to the leaf stalk. Therefore, we must remove it to prevent the disease from spreading further. Then, use scissors to cut off all the rotten tissue on the stem. To help prevent the disease from spreading and create conditions for the plant to recover quickly and grow new roots in the future. And the trunk and the remaining roots are the most important foundation for the tree to recover. After trimming the rotten parts, we will clean the tree thoroughly with water. Spray gently to completely remove dirt, rotten tissue debris, and mold that is still stuck on the trunk and roots. This step helps the tree to be clean, airy, and limits the risk of reinfection during the recovery process. After cleaning, we will use a soft and clean towel to dry all the remaining water droplets on the stem and roots of the orchid. This drying is very important because if water is left to stagnate, especially in new cuts, the plant will easily become infected with fungus and rot again. When cleaned, the plant will also become more airy, and when we take care of the plant, it will be easier to absorb nutrients. Next, we will place the orchid in a cool place, away from direct sunlight to stabilize the plant after pruning. And we will prepare a disinfectant and recovery stimulant solution for the orchid. First, you prepare 1 liter of clean water. The ingredient I use to disinfect the orchid is baking soda, a very easy-to-find ingredient, but highly effective in eliminating fungus and preventing rot in orchids. I use 1 teaspoon of baking soda in 1 liter of clean water. Then stir well until the powder is completely dissolved. Then let the solution rest for about 15 minutes before using it on the orchid. After 15 minutes, we will get a solution that has a mild antiseptic effect, inhibits mold and bacteria that cause rot, and helps clean the root surface and plant tissue before we proceed to stimulate root recovery. Next, we will place the orchid in a clean cup. Then pour the baking soda solution just mixed in so that it covers the entire orchid, and soak for about 30 minutes. This time will help completely remove any remaining fungi and bacteria on the stem and roots, while stimulating healthy tissues to recover faster. After about 30 minutes, we will gently lift the orchid out of the solution, place the plant in a cool, dry place, and let it dry naturally. Next, I will use the baking soda water to disinfect the moss substrate before replanting the orchid. We will soak the moss in this solution for about 20 minutes. This will help remove mold, bacteria, and insects hidden in the substrate, ensuring a clean and safe environment, helping the orchid to recover quickly and root more healthily after replanting. Once the orchid is completely dry, I will light a small candle, and then use the melted wax to gently drip onto the cuts on the orchid's stem and roots. This wax will act as a natural protective glue, helping to seal the wound, preventing water and bacteria from entering, and also limiting the risk of rotting again during the recovery process. Next, we will place the orchid in a cool and dry place so that the glue stains have time to dry and stick firmly. After soaking the moss in the baking soda solution for about 20 minutes, the moss has been completely sterilized. Now we will take the moss out and squeeze it dry moderately, only keeping a light moisture in the moss. What country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments below. It's great to be able to connect and share our passion for orchids from all over the world. When the glue on the orchid has completely dried, we will replant it. For the pot, I use one with lots of drainage holes and good ventilation. This allows air to circulate around the roots, avoiding water stagnation, which can cause waterlogging and root rot. After spreading a thin layer of moss at the bottom of the pot as a substrate, I will place the orchid in the center of the pot. Then gently press the moss evenly around the roots. When pressing, we should not press too tightly, so that the roots have enough air circulation, helping the plant to easily take root and grow naturally. In the early stages of recovery, use moss instead of other types of substrates, because moss has the ability to retain moisture very well, helping plants absorb water steadily and gently, especially suitable for plants that have just had their roots cut or have just been treated for rot, when the root system is still weak and vulnerable. To keep the orchid moist during the recovery period, I will use clean filtered water. I measure about 60 milliliters of water. Then pour it into a clean pot or tray. Then place our orchid pot on top. Note that the bottom of the pot does not touch the water directly. The purpose is to let the steam rise gently, helping to create moderate humidity around the roots and the substrate, helping the plant recover naturally without being waterlogged or too wet. Here, I reuse a large plastic can, cut the body to the shape as in the video to cover the orchid pot. This method helps create a miniature greenhouse model, helps maintain stable humidity, protecting the plant from insect attacks during the weak stage. After that, I will place the orchid pot in a cool place with gentle light so that the plant can recover naturally and sustainably. This is the result after 6 weeks of care. You can see a new shoot has grown green and strong, but the leaves are still thick and smooth. This is a sign that the orchid has truly recovered. In the root system, you can see many new young roots have grown. All roots are big, round and healthy, clinging tightly to the substrate. Meanwhile, the old roots, after being cared for, also become darker green, smoother, and stronger. This shows that the orchid has completely recovered and is entering a stable development stage in the future. Therefore, we need to move the orchid to a new environment so that the plant can grow more stably and sustainably. Changing the substrate and pot at this time will help the root system have more space to grow, while ensuring proper ventilation and nutrition, creating a foundation for the plant to grow strongly, develop strong roots, and soon flower again. First, I will put some small pieces of foam at the bottom of the pot to help increase drainage for the growing medium and prevent water from stagnating at the bottom of the pot. Next, I will spread a thin layer of pine bark substrate on the bottom of the pot. Then, place the orchid upright in the middle of the pot. Next, evenly fill the pine bark around the roots, so that the roots are covered moderately but still have air circulation. If you encounter any difficulties or questions while caring for and growing orchids, do not hesitate to leave a comment below. I am always willing to share my experiences and support you so that everyone can own healthy orchid pots that bloom brightly all year round. After planting, I will cover the surface of the substrate with a thin layer of moss. This layer of moss helps to keep the roots moist and also limits the rapid evaporation of water in the early days when the plant is still weak. In addition, moss also helps to create a soft, moist, natural environment, helping young roots to easily grow out and firmly adhere to the new substrate. Next up, I will prepare a natural fertilizer to provide nutrients for the orchid. The ingredients I use here are very simple: rice. Rice contains many B vitamins, minerals, and natural starches, which help stimulate strong root growth. I put a spoonful of rice in a clean jar, then add about 500 milliliters of clean water to the jar. Stir well to dissolve the nutrients in the rice into the water. Then, close the lid and let it sit for about 30 minutes before using. After 30 minutes, the nutrients in the rice have released enough nutrients, creating a gentle but very effective natural solution for the orchid's recovery phase. Next, we will filter out the rice residue with a sieve and a clean cloth. The purpose is to obtain clear rice water. This solution contains nutrients that help stimulate strong root growth, increase resistance, and restore leaf tissue and root tissue for orchids. I will care for the orchid by watering this nutrient solution directly into the roots and substrate. The gentle amount of nutrients in the rice water will gradually penetrate the roots, helping to stimulate the growth of young roots, while restoring vitality to the entire plant. This is a natural way to supplement nutrients without shocking the plant while still ensuring that the orchid roots fully absorb the necessary minerals for sustainable development. Then, we will soak the entire substrate and root system of the orchid in this nutrient solution for about 20 minutes to achieve maximum effectiveness. After 20 minutes, we will lift the orchid out of the solution, then place it in the garden, in a cool and lightly lit place for the plant to continue growing. And this is the result of our orchid after 3 months of persistent care. You can see the leaves are evenly spread out, green, thick, and sturdy, showing that the plant has fully absorbed nutrients and has completely recovered after a long period of care. The roots of the plant are also very healthy. The young roots are large, round, and ivory white. The root tips are green. This is a sign that the plant is growing steadily and absorbing nutrients well. A healthy root system is a solid foundation for the orchid to continue to grow strongly and prepare for the upcoming flowering stage. This is the clearest sign that the recovery method we are using is working very well. Hopefully, with perseverance and proper care, you will have more healthy and blooming orchids in your small garden. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that I have more motivation to share more good techniques on growing and caring for orchids. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.